Ever wonder how Dog Day became entirely possessed by the smiling critters and turned against us?
No! Leave me! Please! Just go! Run!
I have a few thoughts on how this might have happened, but the last one seems to be the most likely. However, we must first ascertain how Dog Day came to hold this position in the first place. He was talking about how he was the last of the smiling critters during the scene with Dog Day. He was, however, still alive and utterly lacking his legs shackled to the wall. As for the other smiling critters, from what Ollie says in one of the scenes, I'm supposed to think that Catnap put them to death the moment he realized they weren't under the prototype's control.
In Catnap's eyes, the prototype is a superhero and has saved this place. So Catnap treats him like a god, killing everyone that opposes him.
Furthermore, it appears that not everyone is impacted by the prototype's control as intended. They must therefore employ various techniques for different toys. Furthermore, Dog Day was presumably unfortunate enough to still be alive when Catnap discovered us following the train disaster. He devoured all of his legs in order to get ready for the wicked metamorphosis, which appears to have something to do with a toy that has already been transformed or a large number of them somehow influencing you internally. Though it's improbable that this occurred for every toy, this may be one way in that Prototype exerts control over others. My first thought is that Dog Day is a single, fully formed entity that is entirely capable of directing the smiling critters that came together inside of it. When you see the sequence where they all enter him, it appears like there are much too many of them for each to have a separate place, because the majority entered through the lower half of him and one even passed through his eyes. And when you watch Dog Day move after the transition, you'll realize that it's not a random movement, at least not the movement of someone under the simultaneous control of several forces, like a puppet with many strings attached. And the reason for this is probably that the smiling critters within him were able to merge with each other and take on the role of Dog Day's host. Additionally, you'll see that Dog Day suddenly develops white pupils in place of completely black eye sockets after obtaining him. Furthermore, you can't see any smiling critters sticking out of him because, as previously mentioned, a large number of them entered. And even though it seems like there are far too many to fit the fact that he would still be able to communicate with us during the chase if the smiling critters had merged inside of him, makes this idea the least likely to have occurred. His voice even changes once he's fully converted. This is how he sounds whenever he leaps and hears us. My second theory is that the smiling critters replaced what they ate by consuming Dog Day's insides. What Dog Day was telling us is what primarily made me believe that this might be true. He said that the smiling critters are watching us with empty bellies, just as he did before he was turned. He claimed that all they want is to burrow under our skin bite by bit and fill what's empty inside of them.
Many pairs of eyes are on you now. Watching, waiting, hungry. They want nothing more than to crawl beneath your skin and eat away at you bit by little bit. Fill what feels empty inside themselves.
And Dog Day's howls of agony are probably the smiling critters performing exactly what he was just talking about when they come, eating away at him until he's reduced to a husk so they may have complete control over his body. In addition, he can be heard choking and gargling just before going totally insane, and he is unable to speak at all. And the reason behind this is most likely that they destroyed his vocal cords, leaving it sounding unnatural and harsh. This raises the question of why the smiling critters would wish to carry out such an action. To everyone who isn't under prototype control, not only Dog Day, the only reason they are acting in this manner, according to Dog Day's words prior to becoming possessed, is because they are afraid the prototype will treat them the same way he treated Dog Day, that is, by killing anyone who opposes his authority or doesn't share his ideas.
Thing. Catnap. The prototype is his god. And this is what he does to heretics. These little toys follow Catnap to avoid that very fate. And in return, they are fed.
As a result, they work for Catnap, who is likewise a member of the prototype, and in exchange for their obedience, they are given toys and employees who oppose the prototype. This can also be combined with the Hour of Joy, since Poppy meets you at the end of the chapter and discusses the Hour of Joy with you. She shows it to us and puts it on the TV, where you can see all of the toys that were used in the experiments turning sentient and murdering every employee in the building, aside from us, of course. However, Poppy's explanation that the toys led everyone to the building's base after they killed to eat them is what really caught my attention. The smiling creatures are most likely replicating that similar behavior. After being used in experiments, all of the toys seemed as though something was lacking, and killing and eating anything that wasn't a toy was the only thing they believed could fill that void.
All that death didn't fix anything. And then, once it was all over, they dragged those corpses down below where they'd never be found. And they ate the bodies to stay alive.
Later on, it evolved into anything outside of Prototype's realm of influence. Here's my final theory, and I will state that Dog Day's intellect was overridden by the evil of the smiling critters, the same evil that Catnap and the Prototype possess. As you can see, they have total control over Dog Day, and there is no indication that he will be able to defend himself, just like when they ended up taking possession of him. Now that he's entirely vanished, his only goal is to find us and murder us. Since he was still able to move during the pursuit scene and his movements didn't resemble puppets, I'm inclined to believe that he wasn't entirely dead. Instead, his objectives and thoughts were probably taken over by the happy animals. Additionally, he can be seen pursuing the player right away after attempting to fight back, indicating that his primary thought is to murder us. However, this also relates to the Hour of Joy, when Poppy revealed that all that occurred was mindless murder, and that the reason for all the deaths was a sudden snap inside each toy. Dog Day flips from being an ally to a ruthless killer, suggesting that the evil and murderous purpose are transferable. As I mentioned previously, I'm led to believe that Dog Day wasn't entirely dead throughout the pursuit. However, you can hear Dog Day wailing in the background shortly after the sequence ends, and we escape Dog Day via a jump pad. This might indicate a number of different things. First of all, the screams don't really sound like Dog Day. Rather, they seem to be a deranged version of the smiling animal's misery, and they finish him off along with the rest of the crew after they've had to relive our escape. Alternatively, it might be a cry of frustration from the happy creatures we managed to get away, indicating that the Prototype will murder them for failing to find us, much like he did with Catnap at the end of the chapter. Alternatively, it might just be the sounds of the change coming to a complete stop, but that seems improbable given that Dog Day appeared to be converted already. However, please share your thoughts on Dog Day becoming possessed in the comments section. Thank you for seeing. Please subscribe. I'll talk to you later.